It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast. On this, the second day of June 2025, coming to you from my studio in Forest, Virginia, right outside of Lynchburg. Today's show is brought to you by Will U.S., the owner of Scoot Around, and by Chillie's Cruises. It's going to be a busy show this morning, folks. I spent a great deal of time with Nate this weekend, actually. Of course, you know where he is and where I am, but we do have I do have a little interview that we taped at some crazy unmentionable hours, which we'll have on here in just a second. He and I worked on a number of things over the weekend. You know, we're trying to keep the business running here while he's gone, which puts a little added responsibilities on me and some of the other folks that works with Nate up in Alaska. But anyway, it's good to get some things worked out because we did not have time to do any of that prior to his leaving because it came up so quickly and he had so much to do to get to Aukland and get on his way, which he is now. Now, one thing that you're going to have to follow through all of this, folks, is the timing is screwy. As far as I'm concerned, this is day 3 of Nate's cruise. As far as he's concerned, it's starting day 4. There's 7 hours behind us tomorrow. So instead of 11 o'clock our time, it's like 3 a.m. tomorrow where he is. And that's going to change 2 more hours when he gets to Sydney, which is, I don't know what day it is. Anyway, he gets to Sydney next. You'll probably get used to all kinds of places online for where Nate has stuff, website, Facebook page, World Cruise page. There's all sorts of things that he's going to be posting to, and so will I. We do have some news this morning, not a whole lot, and nothing just totally major, but just quite a bit of news too, which we'll get to in a while. The headlines today: Jubilee to offer new Bahamas itineraries, the Astoria to be auctioned. Also today, a passenger falls from a gangway, and at the same time, the Seascape broke her moorings. So we had 2 ships with the same problem in 2, literally halfway around the world from each other. We're going to look at a new air system from Orlando to London. A travel advisory downgraded for a change. That's nice. And a Salmonella outbreak from cucumbers. What? That and lots more live here at 11 o'clock this morning. All right, today, folks, is National Rotisserie Chicken Day. I like chicken. I don't care how you cook it. I mean, on a rotisserie, it's slow cooking it, and that sucks in a lot of the flavor. It's really quite tasty. We're going to have barbecued chicken Thursday night when Jason and Katie get here. I like that too. I mean, I like chicken just about however you can put it out there. I mean, I used to love fried chicken. I would even go to Kentucky Fried Grease and have fried chicken and like it. I don't eat as much fried chicken now. I eat, healthier chicken as much as possible, but I still like fried chicken too. Every now and then we'll be up in a mood and we'll go pick up some fried chicken. So rotisserie chicken, that's a good day. So I'll have some chicken somehow today. Guaranteed. This day in history in 1835. That was about 15 minutes before I was born. P.T. Barnum and his circus began their first tour in the U.S. 1835. I didn't actually realize it was that long ago. So, if you're a podcast person, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net. Just search for travel and cruise industry news anywhere you get your podcast from, and you'll find me. So we do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then, depending on what happens on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, we can always do other shows. Also changes when I'm traveling. I'm not going to be traveling for a while. As far as I know now, I'm not going to travel until October as far as cruise go. I may do some side trips between now and then to, I don't know, different places. That's still kind of up in the air. All right, so I guess the important thing to do is to get Nate's stuff done. And the first thing I'm going to do, this is actually, I pulled this off the website, and his volume sucks. So you'll need to turn the volume up to hear this. That's just one of the technical things that he needs to fix on his end. But anyway, there's some information in it.
Welcome to Cruise World with Nate from Alaska Travel Desk. I am Nate, a 30-year travel industry veteran, and I'm presently on a 60-day segment of the World Cruise on the Crown Princess. My segment goes from Aukland to Dover with stops in Australia, Mauritius, South Africa, Namibia, and just a ton of amazing destinations in the Eastern Atlantic and Western Mediterranean before we end in Dover, England on July 30th. From there, the ship will continue on to New York, Miami, Panama Canal, Peru, before doing a trans-Pacific jaunt to Tahiti, Maria, New Zealand, and back to Australia. The total trip for this ship, or the total length, is about 115 days, but I'm only doing 60. So this will be my 6th trip around the world, and I look forward to educating everyone on how to do these cruises, how to book, including tips on working from the ship. If you're like me, I still have a full-time job, so I still own the travel agency and manage travel for an airline. So we have constant emails and phone calls from them. I'll talk about how to pack, organize, select your luggage, just really cool travel tips you might not find anywhere else. And I'll be sharing the experiences I've had, both good and bad, including some of my mistakes. So I do want to highlight these cruises provide an amazing value for the dollar and offer a lot more unique ports that you might find compared to a cruise that many Americans will go on. So please continue to follow us on our website, cruisealivebuilt.com. On Instagram, we're on cruise_the_world, and on YouTube and Facebook as Cruise World 2025, as I hope to be posting daily. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, and I'll be happy to answer them. And enjoy the journey.
All right, that of course was Nate. As you can tell, the volume was a little underscored. All right, now this was today for him in the Tasmanian Sea. It's just a lovely day and pretty water, especially since they told Nate that they were going to have some rough seas. Those actually look like pretty nice seas to me. So, all right, so we did a little interview. So we're going to switch over to that if I can make this thing work right and see how that comes out. All right, guys, my guest is my buddy Nate Vallier. He's out someplace weird. He's on a boat right off the coast of New Zealand. Nate, welcome back to Chillie Chats, Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast, and all that stuff. Tell us what's happening.
Well, had some housing situations in Juneau, which involved a flood and then not enough contractors, and then our cruise season starting up, and ended up in a friend's guest room and was talking with a buddy who's pretty high up at Princess, and he's like, "Hey, how's everything going in Juneau with the contractors?" And I'm like, "Well, they think they'll be done in August." He's like, "What? That's been a year." And yeah, it has been a year. We're kind of shorthanded, and we lost about 350 homes during that Jubilee, whatever they call it, when there's that glacial flood break. And so I've just been commuting between Juneau and Florida, and come to find out, he's like, "Hey, maybe we can get you on a cruise." And I'm like, "Oh, me on a cruise? Oh, no, definitely not." And so come to find out that I was able to get me on this little cruise out of Auckland that's going all the way to London. So I'm on board for 60 days. And interior cabin, I think I'll be okay. There's a little secret doorway to the promenade right outside, which is nice. And got in. I don't even know what day of the week it is because of this whole time zone thing. Flew New York to Auckland nonstop.
Sunday for you.
Oh, yeah, I should probably keep track of that. Don't even know what ship's time. Oh, it's, I guess, 8:35 in the morning here. But survived the flight to Auckland, landed at like 5 in the morning, got a really good rate at the Intercontinental, which I kind of wanted a comfortable hotel. And I looked at the prices and, not sure which dock we were going to be on. Our paperwork with Princess isn't quite as clear as MSC and Norwegian, where they tell you exactly where to go. I did check everything and it just said cruise ship terminal. So I could either have been at the Hilton, which is actually on a pier. Hotel Intercontinental is right across from the ferry terminal and the train station. And I just wanted a better bed. So I figured IHG has good beds, so I got that. They somehow let me check in at 6 a.m., which blew my mind. I was expecting to have to drop my bags off and find something to do all day. So I booked a trip to, I forgot the name of the island, but I was going to go to Man-O-War Wineries and do a winery flight and sit by the bay and drink wine until my hotel room opened. But then right before boarding in New York, I get a call from Aukland stating due to weather that my trip has been canceled. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just sit around the hotel. I'll, stay awake as long as I can on this flight, which left at 7 p.m. And it's almost a near 12-hour difference, almost. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to stay awake for 8 hours to force myself to get on Auckland time. And that worked. I stayed awake for maybe 7 hours and then slept a good chunk of the way. So when I landed in Auckland, I wasn't really exhausted. But luckily, the hotel let me in and took a little nap and woke up, and my ship was right outside. I'm like, oh, interesting. So I found out that the ship had to skip a port and ended up in Auckland. And so it's been good. It was nice literally walking across the street to drop off my bags. Check-in process was very easy. Auckland is amazing. I want to go back, just not when it's 55 degrees outside. Just leaving Alaska where it was 55 and raining to get to Auckland where it's 55 and raining. Wasn't what I was expecting. But got on the ship. Kind of a nice, easy check-in process. I was able to go to the store and pick up a bunch of things. Since I did not get the drink package. So Princess Plus would set me back almost $4,000 on this ship. And I don't know if I can drink $4,000 in alcohol. I mean, I'm a big boy, but 15 drinks a day. Yeah, I'm with Wi-Fi. So I didn't do that. So I'm just going to do Wi-Fi when I need it. We're very port intensive towards the end, and I have T-Mobile and AT&T, so I can, kind of look at my data there and see where I can do this without breaking the bank. But overall, it's been a good experience. Got my cabin unpacked, got some stuff hung up. You can see one of my bears in the mirror. Pat Race and Juno has some really cool little comic designs. This Murphy bed behind me, I have a world map I'm going to put up. Right now it's on my bed getting flattened because it keeps trying to curl up. So far so good. I got my Elite mini bar, and apparently they might refill it on every segment. So the next segment, so we have this segment between here and Cape Town, and then Cape Town to Barcelona, and then Barcelona to London. And so that mirrors the paperwork I got with my Elite status, with Princess, where you have I get 3 wine tastings. I'm so happy to hear about that. And then 3 different captains meetings. And so apparently they're going to look at even breaking up the packages. So if you do these really long cruises, you're not, getting Princess Plus or Wi-Fi for the whole journey. You can just get it for certain segments. So I think that'll be interesting to see if Princess works it out, because what's really annoying me as an American, is everything here is priced in Australian dollar. So I went to the bar thinking, okay, $10 for a cocktail, no problem. And I have a heart attack when I see it 17, for the Mai Tai. And then I realized, oh, this is Australian dollar. Some of the other drinks were like 26. And even the dining on board, so Sabatini's and Crown Grill are $80 Australian, which comes out to about 50 US. But what's odd is they're selling Princess Plus for 65 Australian dollars, and in America it's 65 US. So kind of an interesting deal. But other than that, it's been good. Interesting statistics. Talked to guest services, and we've got basically 2,000 Australians on board, 350 Kiwis, 300 Americans, which is, not where they want to see it. They want to see more of us on board. 73 British, there are 40 Canadians, 14 Germans, and rounding out the bottom, kind of interesting, 4 from Ireland, 2 from Fiji, and a sole Italian on board. So I don't think we're a very full ship. I know Sydney, we're going to get a little bit more. The ship did start, I believe, in Brisbane, and it's done a circuit in the French Polynesian Islands, Fiji, and a couple other places. And so now we're on our way back. Well, we're on our way to Sydney. Then from there we do Adelaide, Perth, then have this 5-day trek to Martis, and then Cape Town, Namibia, and then kind of make our way back up. So hopefully Wi-Fi is functional. I'm not expecting to be too fast, especially over the Indian Ocean. But yeah, I know all the cruise directors. They recognize me from Alaska and from being on some of the other ships. And so apparently they've got, going to get 17 shows on this thing. So 17 different shows.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Holly and Alwyn are on board. They're both great. And so Alwyn's going to be all the way through. I think Holly gets off in Cape Town, I believe. But yeah, it's kind of nice. I'd rather be on the Crown Princess than Island Princess, which is the other ship that does a world cruise. That one's just a little bit too small for me. So I kind of like having, I'm probably wrong with this, but the Grand Class ships, I think, are better feel. I mean, these are about 3,000 passengers.
Yeah. All right. So Princess is interested in us promoting the back half of the World Cruise.
Yep.
So
yeah, they can book through you, book through me. So yeah, if you go to our website, cruisetheloveboat.com, and you click on join us, there's some really good deals on this. So if you do the 21-day Dover to New York City trek, that one is 21 days, and you go to couple stops in Norway. Do the Northern Norwegian Forge. It starts at $24.98 for interior, which is right about $118 a day, which is really, really good. And then of course you get your stops in Iceland, Greenland, which may or may not be their 51st or 2nd state, who knows. and then Halifax. And then the other good deal that we saw is the New York to Sydney portion, which is a 36-day. And so that one is interesting because it goes down to Miami. You're there for a day, and then I believe it includes Colombia, and then a transit through the new locks. It's at the bottom.
All right, so I don't seem to be able to make the website work sharing it. I mean, I'm showing it, but all right. So
yeah,
I'll post.
but yeah, that, okay.
So you can go check this thing out, which I didn't even have this link either until just before we did this. So
yeah, we're getting a website built out.
Where'd you go? I hit the wrong button.
Put me back in the show. That's all right.
So the back end of it, whether it's from sailing from Dover or sailing from New York, we want to promote. So,
and it's a good value. It's the New York to Sydney leg, which includes a Panama Canal transit, Peru, Easter Island, Moorea, Tahiti. I think there's an overnight Tahiti, Auckland, and then Sydney. You know, it sounds like, you know, it's $4,000, but it's only like 118 a day, which is a really good deal. You know, especially for Princess, it's a comfortable ship, and so that leaves August 20th. So there's still time to book that. Dover, we leave July 30th. That's when I get off. I'm not sure what I'm going to do after that. May stay in Europe because normally when I'm in Europe, it's for work, and I'm normally in Geneva, meetings at IATA and whatnot, or Frankfurt with our technology partners. So being that close to, you know, Normandy and some of the World War II museums, I might go do that. You know, I've done all those in London and in Paris, and love museums. So I may stick around and do the northern coast of France before I head back to the States. Hopefully the contractor is done. Who knows, may have to stay on the boat. But yeah, no, Princess, you know, coming off MSC World America, where MSC's done a lot of things right. The food was really good. The island was amazing. Had an amazing experience in World America to come to this. Even though I'm an interior cabin, you know, it's nice to see and understand the differences. You know, I wish Princess was more solo friendly in terms of the rates, but it is nicer in terms of the cabins. You know, the food selection is, of course, you know, a little bit better than what we get on MSC, unless you're in Yacht Club. Yeah, Princess does a good job, and so does MSC. Don't get me wrong, but you know, it's nice seeing the changes. You know, Princess still does 2 cabin services a day, which is nice. I was short on hangers. I know that's a big deal for a lot of people. I used them all. Who knows how many I've got. The bathroom is a little bit short on towels, but other than that, I mean, you know, I think it's just because they had a lot of people get off in Auckland, and so they're just turning the ship around. And I think with these world cruises, you know, it is a logistical nightmare. And so even for me as a traveler, you know, I brought some stuff on board, including barbecue sauce. You can never find any when I want it. I also have storage cubes, which fit perfect up in my closets. This way I can organize whether it's electronics or beach gear. I have a hamper for my dirty clothes, which is nice. And then I'll show you guys later. I ended up buying a body pillow in Auckland, so found it for about $30. Since I have to, you know, I'm a bear, so I got a nest when I sleep, and got all my electronics situated. You know, again, Wi-Fi is working pretty good. Just need to get the world map flattened. So hopefully next time we do an interview, you'll see it on this bed behind me.
So what I want to know, Nate, and it's definitely the question for the audience, is sleeping with the body pillow anything like sleeping with somebody else? I guess we don't get an answer to that one.
I'm not going to see somebody for 2 months, and that's kind of hard, but it's not the same. It's not warm. I don't have a way to.
Well,
Plus, they
I'm
don't
just
scratch
teasing
me in the
you.
middle of the night. We don't get scratches in the middle of the night or anything, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But no, I have to. I don't know. I'm the big spoon, so I need to
Oh, yeah.
hold something.
Just wait till you get to my age.
Since that person, well, and that person's not here, so and that person's already mad at me for doing this. I'm like, I'm not going to do this until I retire. So either do it now or do it when I'm old and.
Like me.
So yeah,
I know.
Well, here's the. I mean, and I'm going to talk about this on my website. Once I get the YouTube channel up and running, and coordinating with you, of course, and some of my other people, but and Jet Set Go. I'm going to talk about how you can actually take these cruises and work, how you can function, how you can actually make it bearable on your income, so that way you're not just on a vacation sitting by the pool deck watching. We literally have like 8 movies a day. Like every time I look at my app, movies under the stars. I'm like, it's middle of the day. There's a lot of different movies. TV's pretty much loaded, but no, there's a lot of stuff going on the ship, and I've got work to do still. I mean, I still have clients traveling. I know you do. I've got 5 groups, coming to Alaska, and now they're mad I'm not going to be in Juneau. They wanted to see me, but no, there is a way to still travel and explore the world and cruise and still work. And so I'm going to highlight that, one of my videos, and of course talk about like how to pack, how to plan for this, and not run into the glitches I did, and make, you'll be with me as I make the mistakes. I'm not a perfect traveler. As I found out when I had my passport issue arise, and I thought that'll all be fine. And then when I finally go through and check every country, found out I had to get an emergency passport, essentially, which is why I had to go to Buffalo. A lot of people are like, why are you in Buffalo? It was the only place I could find an appointment that worked with my flights.
Yeah.
And got my passport the same day. Had to redo all my visas, which cost me a chunk of money. But again, even the most expert traveler, we make mistakes. And I have no problem owning it. And that's one thing I just assumed, when you cruise, they're a little bit more relaxed with the passport requirements. And, I thought that some of these requirements were only for people crossing, flying in. And that's just like with Canada. Canada has different rules if you're flying in versus a land border. I made that mistake, and luckily I fixed it. Otherwise, I would be sitting in Juneau in the rain, twiddling my thumbs, talking to you about whale watches.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Nate. We're going to continue this for the next 59 days.
And hopefully we'll have an update from Sydney. And then I'm hoping what we can do is every time I'm in a port, we can do a little video, regardless of the time.
Great.
I can ask, your users, I can ask them, answer their questions a little bit later if we're not live. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, if anyone knows what to do in Namibia, please put in comments what to do in Namibia. I don't know. It doesn't look safe. And being a gay guy, I may just want to stay on the boat. But, I'm just not sure what to do there.
Yeah, well, maybe we can find somebody that knows something about Namibia. Now, however you say that. I got to ask you another question. How did you pronounce? I pronounce it Mauritius. You pronounced it differently than I do. Mauritius.
Mauritius?
Where you're going after Australia. Mauritius?
Yeah. It depends on the accent and where they're from. It could be Mauritius. I don't know. We would ask Google, but even Google would be wrong, as I found out in Tokyo. I think it's one of those things where it depends on where you're at. So, like in the Middle East, you have the country called, and it's been in the news a lot. Let's not talk about that side, but people from the Middle East call it Qatar. Cuter. Qatar, not Qatar. We call it Qatar, but they call it Qatar. I think it's one of those things where there's just a regional dialect and or pronunciation of it. So I've always cut Martis, but you could be right. I could be wrong.
I have no idea because I've never been there. So,
Neither
you
have
could be
I.
right.
I mean, it's on my list. It's been on my list.
We're gonna both of us learn on this trip you're on. So.
Yep. And luckily, Alwyn and Holly have been doing some great shows, and so yeah, well, I'll learn for sure from them. Exactly how to pronounce some of these places. But yeah, Namibia is the big question mark along my trip. What to do there? It doesn't look safe. It looks like you really do. Yeah.
I can't even say it. So.
Namibia.
All right, Nate. Thank you.
Right.
And as always, we'll get together again real soon. And this is Nate Vallier. That's my pal on the World Cruise.
I may not have been heard through all that, so no sound. Sorry, guys. So what I pointed in there after the interview was over, and then I didn't click the sound back on. I did do some research for Nate on Namibia, and found out this. Back in the early 2000s, it was not safe for any of the folks that were gay. Not at all. That has changed. It is much safer now for the LGBTQ folks than it was in the early 2000s. However, on the opposite side of that, it's still a very high crime rate area. So you have to exercise extreme caution there. But at least it's not the same kind of caution it would have been for Nate, 20 years ago. So I sent him that message yesterday when I got that information for him. All right. We'll be doing a lot more from Nate as we go. There'll be probably something on every show to some extent. All right. I'll be back with some news, folks, after a quick break from one of our fine network sponsors. All right, guys, we're going to start off this morning from the Jubilee. The Carnival Jubilee is set to introduce new itineraries to the Bahamas beginning in September of 2026. Sailing from its home port in Galveston, the 2023 built ship will offer regular cruises to the country for the first time. The new itineraries include visits to two of Carnival Corporation's private destinations in the Bahamas, Celebration Key and Relax Away at Half Moon Cay. The Astoria is reportedly being auctioned in the Netherlands after spending 5 years docked in Rotterdam. According to sources in Northern Europe, the 1948-built former ocean liner will be sold as part of an auction overseen by the Rotterdam District Court. The bidding process is set to take place on June 17th. Profits from the transaction will be used to cover the cost of the ship's 5-year layup at the Dutch port and other expenses. All right, so Nate mentioned in the interview that one of our responsibilities now is to sell the back end of the World Cruise. So I'm going to take the opportunity to give some ad space up to that. This is the leg from Dover to New York City. It's 21 days. You can see the map there. It goes up into Norway, over to Iceland, stops in Greenland. I appreciated Nate's humor, and I did not catch it when I first interviewed him, that he says, yeah, Greenland, the 21st or 51st or 52nd state. I thought that was pretty clever. But I'll have to tell Nate that I caught that the second time around. But anyway, from Greenland, stops in Canada at Halifax and then into New York City. $2,400, $2,498 actually, almost $2,500 for an interior cabin. Now again, folks, there's not any bargains for solos. Tell you that right up front, and it's something that we're fighting with Princess about. Maybe that'll change, but there's not any good deal for you, my solo friends out there. But for couples, that's a pretty good value. $2,498 for 21 days, I believe it is. So that's $110 or something like that a day. Ocean views only jump up about $150. Now balconies, of course, balconies are going to be more expensive, as are the suites. And that pricing is based on 2 per cabin and Princess Standard. And unfortunately, it's subject to change without notice. But anyway, if you're interested in that, you can go to any one of the websites, which of course this one is cruisetheloveboat.com, or you can call us at Alaska Travel Desk, or call me at 412. What's my phone number? 434-258-9264. Yeah, just give me a call. We'll hook it up for you. That's the Dover to New York City leg on the World Cruise of the Crown Princess. Dramatic video from Italy shows a mooring post snapping off and hitting the side of Norwegian Epic as the ship was pushed by strong winds while docking. This chaotic scene unfolded when the cruise ship broke free from its dock in Catania, injuring 2 passengers and delaying the ship's departure. According to reports on social media, the incident occurred just after 1 p.m. local time on May the 30th. Witnesses reported hearing loud cracks as the ship's strong mooring lines were put under significant strain, with some concrete dock posts reportedly tearing from the ground. One Facebook user, Brian Koenig, who was a passenger on the ship, said, "Our ship is now out in the ocean and we are stuck between the entry building and the dock. We watched all of the lines holding the boat snap like twigs. They rescued passengers from the water and transported some to hospital via ambulance. It's going to be a long afternoon and evening trying to get back onto the ship." 2 passengers were injured during the incident. The gangway connecting the ship to the pier collapsed, sending a female passenger falling into the water. Her husband immediately jumped in to rescue her. Both individuals were quickly pulled from the water by port authorities and emergency responders. They were then transported by ambulance to a local hospital where they received treatment for minor injuries. Strong winds, with the Italian Meteorological Service having issued a warning for gusts up to 57 miles an hour, are believed to have played a significant role in the mooring failure. While the exact cause is still under investigation, the combination of these winds and the ship's movement likely overwhelmed the dock's mooring posts. Following the incident, Norwegian Epic drifted into the harbor, leaving many passengers stranded on land. Boarding was delayed, finally beginning around 7:15 p.m., about 6 hours after the gangway fell. Meanwhile, stormy weather rolled in during MSC Seascape's visit to Ocean Key on Saturday, with high winds causing the vessel to break free from its moorings. One guest explained, "So we are docked. It's not near the time for us to depart yet, so the wind came and broke the tether lines, and the ship started moving." Another passenger also shared that the gangway had actually fallen into the water as well, but thankfully no injuries to crew members or guests have been reported. And the Seascape eventually sailed and is staying to schedule. As summer travel to Europe remains more popular than ever, Norse Atlantic Airways and Orlando International Airport, the busiest airport in Florida, have partnered to bring vacationers even more options for their journeys across the pond, now offering daily non-stop service from sunny Florida to historic London. Among the international carriers at the fourth largest U.S. airport by landmass is Norse Atlantic Airways, a low-fare airline that's revolutionizing long-haul travel. Perfect for cost-conscious travelers seeking exceptional value, Norse provides nonstop service between the U.S. and Europe aboard its comfortable fleet of Boeing 787 Dreamliners, and this summer the airline is offering daily direct flights from Orlando to London Gatwick between now and September 15th. The U.S. State Department has downgraded the travel advisory for Jamaica from level 3 to level 2. This change is from level 3, reconsider travel, to level 2, exercise increased caution. Step in the right direction for Jamaica. A Salmonella outbreak is rocking the high seas and supermarket aisles. Federal health officials have launched a full-blown investigation after at least 45 people across 18 states, including passengers aboard 6 cruise ships, fell seriously ill thanks to contaminated cucumbers. The CDC confirmed that sick passengers were aboard 6 different cruise ships that sailed out of Florida between late March and mid-April. It's still a mystery whether the suspect veggies were served on board or munched on before passengers even hit the gangway, but all the infections match the same genetic strain of Salmonella. According to the CDC, 16 people have been hospitalized, and the tainted veggies have been traced back to bednaric growers in Florida, with distribution handled by Fresh Start Produce Sales. The cucumbers were sold from April 29th to May 19th and ended up in restaurants, hospitals, grocery stores, and yes, cruise ships. However, the names of the ships have not been released, at least yet. First segment or the segment from Dover to New York City on this cruise. So let's take a look at New York to Sydney. Why is that not showing? That did not come up the way I thought it would. So I have to, sorry about this, folks. I have to do some switching here. I got to come back here. Let's see if I can do this. And I might not have shown you what I wanted to show you on the other one either. I just realized that it was not doing what I wanted. For camera, video file, image file. And let's see if that, no. Huh. Okay, so I got to work this out to continue with the commercials on the cruise. I'll have that fixed for next time. Let me just tell you that the segment from New York goes through Miami, Colombia, a full Panama Canal transit, couple stops in Peru, multiple islands in the Pacific. Really an awesome leg. It lasts 36 days, so not quite as long as Nate's on, but it's a fantastic itinerary, and it's $4,100, $4,169 per person. Again, folks, there's not any deal for solos. I can't promote that, but for 36 days and $4,100, not a bad price. That's of course for insides. They do stick you a little heftier for ocean views, up to $6,400. But again, $6,400 for 36 days. That's still less than $200 a day for an ocean view. So anyway, I will work it out, folks, so we can actually share that with you as we're talking about it on another episode of Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. As always, thanks for being with me. No, I got to go over and talk about the chat room. I didn't see who's fussing at me in the chat room yet. So, my bad. So we have an ex-person here. Oh, here you go, Hot Air Tom. Just for you, we have Gabriella, who says, I can laugh at this one, I'm available for hookup service. Gabrielle, this is the wrong place for that. Thank you. This is a travel and cruise industry news show. Can't you hear me? No. This is a live show in travel and cruise industry news. So this is not a hookup channel. All right. Hot Air Tom's with us. Says happy Monday. There's Steve out in Kentucky. Hey, Steve. And yes, I was saying it was good to see Hot Air Tom. He was the first one I saw. It's a few minutes before the show started today, folks. I had everything all set up, ready to go, and lost everything. Lost the signal, lost the Wi-Fi. I mean, I literally had to start over from scratch. It's my computer and my phone rebooted back onto the webcam, and then upload everything, and somehow managed to get the show on time and have the stuff for Nate ready to go too, because that all had to be redone as well. Surprised I got through that, and I was literally panicked. So it was good to see Hot Air Tom. I thought I may have set this whole show off to a different link, but I didn't, thankfully. Sonny's with us. Good morning, Sonny. Why are you crown number 1 and Steve and I are crown number 2? I don't know. Actually, I don't know where the crown is coming from. I don't see that. I don't see that on either of my computers. So anyway, I guess that's something you guys see that I don't. Mike's with us. Good morning, Mike. There's Bob. Tiboris. Says hello. You need a job? Well, this is not an employment situation, folks. This is a travel and cruise industry news show. Sorry to tell you that, my good man. Gretchen's with us. Says good morning to everybody. Hot Air Tom is telling Sonny he has no idea what that means. Maybe Chillie's Cruises can tell us. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So I have no idea. It's not anything I see. I don't know, y'all. It can't be because I'm using that World Cruise logo. I don't know. Totally lost. Joanne's with us. Good morning, Joanne. Hot Air Tom says, I guess the panic situation is why the picture is reversed. The picture's not reversed. You can read Chillie's Cruises. That's the way it's supposed to be. The camera is not set to reverse to normal the picture, so the writing is backwards on. What caused that? The way I'm looking at it, Hot Air Tom, I read Chillie's Cruises. So to change it would be that. Now, to me, it's showing me that's Chillie's Cruises is backwards. So, Hot Air Tom, tell me which way is correct. I don't know. Whereas Kenneth, he could give Tiboris a job in the store. Where do you live, Tiboris? That's a good suggestion. Sonny says, Tom, those are new, never saw them before. The crown numbers. But I do agree, you are number 1. The crown numbers. I don't see that, folks. So I'm not sure what you're talking about. So it's a fickle crown. Oh, Hot Air says, now you're number 1, Sonny. Thing, take it down, pass it around. We'll get it next. What in the world are you guys talking about? Touch the crown brings up a leaderboard and a request for super chat. I don't know. Not anything I see. Don't know. So anyway, Gretchen says, don't see that anywhere other than here, at least not yet. Chillie and I know the beds in Intercontinental are very comfortable. Good pillows, too. Yeah, I'm the first one to admit I love the hell out of staying in intercontinental hotels with Tom. I mean, yeah, folks, I'm probably never going to afford staying in intercontinentals on my own, but they're lovely. If you get a chance to stay there, they're fabulous hotels. So, Joanne says, Nate, what a trip. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Chillie is so cheeky. Nah, me? No. Very good value for Dover and New York sections. Thank you, Mike. Amy's with us. Howdy, Amy. Can't wait to see Nate's reports. I'll live through Nate vicariously. Yeah, me too. Yeah, the sound gone. That was my fault when the sound gone. That was stupid. We can hear you now. Sound back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nate was great. Thanks, Joanne. No map showing. Yeah, I see. That was when I screwed that up. Yeah, now I got you, Mike. I realized that later, the second time I went to put it up, that I wasn't sharing that screen with you. And then I couldn't figure out how to share it after I'd already shared one thing before. So I'll get that worked out. You're on the bottom of page 3. I'm still about halfway through page 1. So I got you, Mike. You're absolutely correct. There's Todd. Good morning, Todd. There's Roger in Jacksonville. Hey, Roger. I imagine all those folks got it at the same place. Hey, Roger, how far are you from Norwegian's cruise port in Jacksonville? Norwegian's cruise port, they're pretty close. So he would be about 15 minutes, maybe. They might know shortcuts that I don't know, but 15, 20 minutes. $6,400 for 36 days is good. Yes. That's what I thought. Joanne says these crowns have been showing up on lives. Oh. Well, I wish I could see them so I know what you're talking about. Happened on both JJ Cruise Lives. Oh, okay. Wow. Time you could hire them, you need more drivers, don't you? Chillie, why haven't you gave me a crown? You gave everybody else one. My bad today. Hell, Kenneth, I don't have a clue what they're talking about. It's not anything I've done. Or at least if I did it, I don't know about it. And I can't see any crown anywhere on any of my screens. I got 2 computers going with 2 different views, and I don't see it at all. So I'd be happy to give you one, Kenneth, if I knew what it was be giving you. So not from Chillie. He can't even see the crown. Yeah, I can't. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up today. I've enjoyed the show this morning. Good to see Nate has a sense of humor still. I appreciate that immensely. And I will tell you, Nate and I, on occasions, do some arguing on politics and government too, which is really kind of interesting and kind of surprising. But I enjoy. I love Nate to death. I really do, guys. I'm not telling you that. And yeah, I will do everything I can to help Nate. I'll do everything I can do to promote cruises. That'll be great. And if you want to go on this, just call me. 15 minutes. from the Outback. Okay, Roger says 15 minutes. That's what I figured, 15, 20 minutes. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Again, I will monitor everything tomorrow, and hopefully, and definitely we'll be back on Wednesday. All right, guys, as always, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. And maybe some of us can get together on one of these world cruise segments. That would be awesome. Have a great day, everybody. A great Monday, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.